Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS. We are fresh home from our half marathon. Trey's first half marathon, by the way. So proud of you.
Me too.
There was a point where I thought he was on a bicycle, and we'll get there eventually. But this was probably the most chaotic half marathon leading up to it that I've ever heard of.
Well, you trained?
Yes, I did. I got sick for about 2 weeks leading up to it. And then I kind of tapered off. So I trained. I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I really felt like I could at least get 5 to 6 miles without stopping whenever I got there. I was just hoping to show up and not have an accident.
See, I just went the Stephanie Holman route, and my expectations were incredibly low, and I exceeded them because they were on the ground.
They would have to be on the ground.
Yeah. I didn't train at all. The day before was like, you know what? It's time to get my body together and treat this thing like a temple. And we went out and we bought new running shoes.
Yes.
To my surprise, 1.5 million of you messaged me and you were like, please don't wear those.
You guys were really looking out for him.
So I ended up not wearing them. I wore my old shoes. I was like, they're not as cute, but I'll wear it, whatever. Then
you bought an outfit.
I bought an outfit. Well, no, I didn't buy an outfit here. I bought an outfit there because I was
okay.
like, I don't know what it's going to be, so we're just going to see. And I want to see what the other runners were wearing. And then I went and I got a pedicure, which you all also said was a terrible idea. But I was like, why? I wanted my feet to be like, baby soft. And they were. And they still are. And they're great.
But you did not get any blisters, is what you're saying.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, you would know.
No.
You would know. So that's good. That's good. I was expecting that for you. So you did kind of everything wrong.
You all told me that I did everything wrong, but I feel like I did everything right because I finished.
Whenever we got there, I said, Trey, be honest with me. Because I thought he was going to be like the dark horse that nobody sees coming and is going to just really win it for everybody.
I don't know why you thought that.
You know why? Because I would call you a lot of times in the morning from carpool, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Where are you at? And you were always on the Katy Trail.
Well, that was the problem, was you would call, and I had every intention of running, and then we'd be on the phone for 45 minutes, and I would just talk the whole time. I'd be like, well, now I got to go.
So I thought he's out here almost every day. He is definitely
but I was talking.
Running.
I was just chit-chatting.
But little did I know he was being honest. So I said, what's the longest distance you've ran without walking? And this was like I think the day that we got there or whenever we were at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, I've ran a mile without stopping. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because at that point, the most I had ran, which was about 6 weeks before the race, was I ran 7 miles without stopping.
And that might not have been honest. It might have been a little less than a mile to be.
So anyways, we go to the airport, get there. Now, I was kind of nervous even if I was even going to get there because a lot of people will be surprised to realize that I have never had TSA pre-check. Not because it's easy to get.
Yeah, that's still. I swore that you had global entry, and you said you don't have that either. And I was like, what?
Because we were coming home from a trip out of the country, and American Express was doing you get clear for free for a year.
But why don't you have global entry? You travel outside of the country so much. I am shocked that Travis has the patience for you to stand in that general admission line.
No, he gets so annoyed. And I think now I just do it because it annoys him. But I'm going to get it. Remind me, Trey, I'm going to get it this week. I think all you have to do is just go to Staples. If I'm not,
that is so not how you
do
it. That is not that easy. You have to sign up for an appointment. They will assign you, hopefully, you get Dallas. Otherwise, you have to fly somewhere to do an appointment.
TSA pre-check?
Yeah. You have to, meet with a TSA officer and then, go through the whole thing.
No way.
But if you're doing pre-check, you might as well do global entry because global entry comes the pre-check.
No, because you can go to Staples for TSA pre-check. I know because I made an appointment to go to Staples.
Well, that's terrifying that our Staples employees are the ones making the call on whether you
I swear
can pass through or not.
I swear I had an appointment at Staples and then I just totally forgot about it because I had other things going on. But I'm going to do it maybe this week, maybe next week, but I'm going to do it because here's the deal. But at one point I was telling Travis, I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't because everybody has it now. So the general admission, the general line's sometimes a lot shorter. And but I'm going to get it done because it stressed me out because the TSA or the general admission line was so long the day of our trip, and we only got there like an hour early, and it took me probably 40 minutes to get through that. I was so stressed out. I didn't get my bathroom trip. I have like this thing where I have to go to the bathroom before I get on the plane because I get so stressed out that, because there's like a million people in one bathroom. It just stresses me out. I don't want to be that person who like pooed in the aisle, that happened last year. So anyways, I'm going to get it. So anyways, but that's the thing. I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get the global entry because you have to go to the airport and get that.
You might as well just do that.
No, I'm just going to go to Staples
Okay.
and get TSA pre-check. That's it. That's all I need.
Well, okay. So we get there and we are all excited and we're spunky and we're ready to go. And then our friend Whitney, who has been training for this thing for how long? 4 months?
I mean, she's been running longer than we had this planned.
Oh, well, she is
very fast.
On it.
Yes.
She is like,
and she took the training
committed.
seriously, where
Yeah.
the rest of us kind of did it whenever we felt the need. She really took it seriously. So we get there, and she had a hip injury, and then she got better and was training really, really well. And then something happened. What did she say? She said that she got on the flight with our other friend.
She was leaving for the airport and she bent down to like grab her luggage and like she heard something like pop. And then things just weren't the same after that. And so the whole entire day before, they got there the day before we did. The whole entire day before, she was just laying on a heating pad. And they told us the night before, they're like, yeah, we're in bed. It was like 6 p.m. We're like, losers. Okay, well, you'll have fun when we get there. But no, she was like, she didn't know if she was going to race.
Yes.
And she was the one that she was probably the only one that was excited to race.
Yes.
None of the rest of us were excited about this.
No, the rest of us, it was like we were headed to our death.
Yeah.
Like we were just going to do it, but we're probably going to die.
But she miraculously made a recovery and
yeah, so
she
was good on race day. Now I know from previous races, I felt very stopped up. I am that person that I live and die by my bowel movements. If I don't have one for a few days, I'm like, oh no, something's wrong with me. This is not okay. So I had not had a bowel movement, for those of you really wondering, for like 2 days leading up. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to race. And then feel the urge and be in, that's like my biggest fear is to have to poo while I'm running. So I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I have to go and clean myself out. And I was just going to buy Fleet. Because for those of you who just need to clean yourself out real quick, Fleet works. It's efficient. It's fast. It doesn't get really deep down in there, but it gets what you need out and it relieves you a little bit.
When did you do that last?
It was when I was doing the show because
but there was some reason where you needed me to put that bottle up your butt.
No, you did not insert it, but you brought it to me and said, "This." And I
showed her the position.
He showed me the position. He I think you did stay on the phone with me while I was doing
I was there.
I was so nervous.
I was definitely there.
He was not in the room with me when I stuck it up my butt. We did not have that kind of
there was a door between us.
But he was cheering me on as I sat there and suffered for the 5 minutes he told me I need to sit there in agony. I would have much rather did that because that is a fast relief. It's 5 minutes and you feel better, right? And that's what I was going to, and I did buy one of those. And then whenever we were there looking, Trey, for some reason, feels like he is the king of the enemas. He said, you don't need that. What you need is this drink.
Magnesium citrate.
He said, have you ever tried this before? I said, no, never. And he said, oh, this is what you need. This will clean you out, and it works in 30 minutes. And I said,
it does.
Okay, well then that's perfect. I will do this. He said it tastes like Sprite.
It
does not.
It's like maybe it's more like a lemon, like Propel is how I would describe it. But the Kroger brand tastes like Sprite a little bit more than probably what you drank. But it does for me. It is fast acting and it just gets things. It is in and out.
But do you have to go to the bathroom one time, or are you in there all day?
No, it's
You're
it's
such
in
a
and
liar.
out.
There's
But also,
no way.
Yeah, no, it is. But also, my body's used to it, so maybe adding something new to your body that was
How often do you do this?
Enough.
Why are you cleansing your colon constantly?
Well.
What? No, seriously.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how else to explain this to you. I think Madelyn gets it.
What? Why are you?
What?
Why are you?
I've only got one hole.
Oh.
Where's
Oh. It's like you're cleaning it out for
Not for my sake, for Zach's.
Okay, I get it now. Okay, I was like, good Lord, that's like a once a year thing for me. Okay,
I was hoping in that awkward 15-second pause that you would get it, but you didn't.
Okay, so I have never used this before. So Trey said it tastes like Sprite and it's quick, efficient.
Mm-hmm.
In 30 minutes, you will feel like a new woman and it'll get the job done, and then you're good to go to dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so we go to the hotel room, and I have a really good friend who is a big banker, so I'm not going to say her name, but it starts with the M. She was my roommate, okay? And I had bought 2 of them because I was like, oh, well, if I'm going to do this and it's quick and efficient, my friend needs one too, right? So
She actually bought 3, and she gave one to me, and I was like,
yes, never, yes. Me and my friend, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go to dinner in like 2 hours. So let's take this because it takes 30 minutes and then we'll be good for dinner, right? So we drink it. It does not taste like Sprite. It tastes like straight lemon juice. It is the worst tasting. I mean, it literally is like you're sucking on a bottle of lemons. It's horrible. We get it down, and 30 minutes later, nothing happens except I start feeling really burpy, like nothing in the lower region of my body, but my upper region was not okay. And then Morgan, M starts, it hits her like about, I think in maybe 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later.
well, they were
right?
supposed to come meet us for dinner, and M texted me and was like, hey, we're not going to make it. We took this drink, and things are happening. And I was like, oh, good. It's effective.
Uh-huh.
But then like 2 hours later, they were still waiting. Stephanie was still waiting.
I was still waiting. M had quite a few runs to the bathroom, and I was sitting there stressed out. I was like, oh no, there's something wrong with me. I'm going to go to the hospital. Like this drink is not working. But my stomach was cramping. I did not feel okay. So she was up all night. Like 10:30 it hit her. She was up all night. Now for me, it hit me at 3:30 a.m. It says, Trey said 30 minutes. It took me like 7 hours. And by the way, 3:30 a.m., I am running a half marathon in 3.5 hours, right? And it's not like a one and done. It is a every 5-minute thing, right? And it is, I am like losing pounds and pounds every time I go to the bathroom, okay?
But thankfully, our friends Whitney and Catherine went to the Walgreens like 19 times before we even got there. And one of the many purchases they made was Imodium.
Yes.
So Stephanie called me at 4 a.m. and she goes, bitch, get up and go knock on their door and get that Imodium.
At the night, like I think when Trey got home from dinner, it was like 10:30. So that was 4 hours into this drink that was supposed to take 30 minutes. I was pissed at him because I was like, you screwed me. Like you trying to sabotage Em and I, so we're not going to do well, so you can beat us. And I was like, I need to FaceTime you and have you drink this drink since you said it's so powerful and it works in 30 minutes. You're going to feel great the next day. I want to see you. We're in this together. I want to sit here and watch you drink this drink that you talked me into drinking when all I wanted to do is buy a Fleet and have like a 5-minute situation. And
Why didn't you use your Fleet?
Because you said that the other one was so much better and more efficient.
I know, but if you use the Fleet at like 10 o'clock, there's only so much to come out of you. So like,
oh no, I swear this was like years that came out of me between 3:30 a.m. and when it happened at 7. So I was like, Trey, since you did this was your idea. You need to go wake Whitney and Catherine up and get us some Imodium AD because I was looking at the Walgreens. I would have paid somebody $1,000 to bring me something at that point. I was just in so much pain. I had the floodgates that open. I could not close them. And I was just thinking, I can't run this race. I'm going to crap my pants. I mean, there's no way. I can't even lay in bed with that. I had to lay in bed with my body facing where I could just run. Like if my back was to the bathroom, I would not have made it. It was like horrible. So
someone messaged me and they were like, Stephanie is going to win this thing by a landslide. And I was like, more like a mudslide. But
yeah, seriously. So
now see what's so I know you said you talked to Travis about this. Stephanie's friend that did this with her, she is a very, very, very smart lady.
Yes.
And for some reason, she did this too.
Yeah, and she was not stopped up. And I told her that night. Well, it was also like really.
She knew better.
We are good friends, but we are like best friends now because there is a point where I mean, it's a small room. It's 2 beds. And it sounded like machine guns going off in the bathroom. I'm
just all night long.
I mean, there's no hiding it. Like
the poor people next to you.
She goes in there, and then all I hear is like in the toilet. Then I go in there. It's blown. I mean, it sounds like a war is going on in that bathroom at all times. There's no muffling it. It is horrible. And you're in so much pain and just want it over that you don't even care. There's like no courtesy, like faucet turn on or anything. We're just getting
the door is open.
It's horrible. And we also have to be really fast and efficient because God only knows when it's going to hit the other person.
You got to
right?
tag in.
But we did.
Switch.
It's horrible. So anyway, she started to feel a little bit better, but we're still a little nervous. It has hit me so late that I don't know how I'm going to make it. So Trey goes, once Catherine and Whitney get up, like he goes and gets a Modem AD, comes to the room. We have 2 hours at that point because I think you get there at 5. We have 2 hours to like start the race, right? Yeah. So, and it's a dire issue. So you're supposed to take 2. I was in such dire need. I took 3. And then my stomach started to feel a little bit better.
I walked in that room though, and Stephanie, she was laying in her running position, like ready to go to that bathroom in any moment.
It was horrible. It was horrible. So I take 3. So then the race starts. By the way, we have like depleted our body of everything, right? So there's no like
so
electrolytes.
Yeah.
So dehydrated. We had a banana and like some chia seed pudding because it's the only thing we thought we could keep in us. And but we're gonna go because we've paid all this money to go there. So we put enough medicine to stop ourselves up for 3 hours and go out there. And but before I leave, I take 3 Imodiums. I take 1,000 milligram of B12 because I feel like I need energy. I take Azio. Now, do I have a bladder infection? No, but that stuff I believe kind of numbs all of your internal stuff. So at this point, I'm just trying to numb my body to get through it. And then I take a few Tylenol. So I really have drugged myself. And I drink a energy drink, which is probably not smart because it has caffeine, which is going to make you go. But I have so much stuff in my body.
So you just went from having nothing in your body to all of that?
Everything, okay. everything just to get through 3 hours. So we start walking that way, and nature hits me again. So I am sitting in the line at the porta potty, and I have like 10 minutes till the race starts, and go again. And then I'm like, okay, this is fine. Even if I'm in the porta potty every mile, I'm going to do this. Like, we're going to do this together. So race starts. Trey's kind of in the very, very back. He's whenever we got our bibs, you are given like different letters. Like I think I was H.
And they put you like in corrals based on like your time, and
yes.
I was in L, which was the last one. L stood for leisure.
That's what the guy said. He was like, "All I know, I don't know what the other ones stand for, but I know L stands for leisure." And I was like, "That's exactly where he needs to be." And I think my friend and I were like in H because we thought we were gonna have a good time. That did not happen. And then the other, like Whitney and Catherine, were up there, but they had been training. They were good to go. I was hoping for like a 2.5 hour finish. That did not happen at all. So anyway, so we get there, start running. Now, I don't know where Trey is, but the day before, we start our little turtle running group on Life 360 because I'm like, I just want to know where everybody is so we can find each other and cheer each other on, right? So we all do Life 360. And also I want to know where Trey is because...
Yeah, see, I fell for that. And I'm disappointed that I fell for that because I was like, well, she has my location on like Find My Friends, but it's not as precise as Life 360.
Yes.
And Life 360, it tells you like how fast you're going, if you're walking, if you're in a car,
if you're
the
running,
percentage your phone's at. Like it's very specific.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I just thought, I was like, oh, this is just so we can find each other. No. There was an ulterior motive, but we'll get to that at the end.
So we're running. I make it 2 miles. Those are the most painful 2 miles. Like right off the get-go, my body is so tired and depleted. Right off the get-go, I'm
just
struggling.
Just from pooping all night.
Just from I have nothing left in me, and I just put a lot of drugs in my body. So mile 2, nature calls, and I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. And my sweet friend stays with me, but we were together all night. I think she knew she was not going to have a good time, so she was like, I might as well just stay with this train wreck. So I go to the bathroom, And then I think I had to stop 3 times throughout the race. But I walked probably as much as I ran. I did horrible. I did horrible.
See, I probably walked about 65% of it. And
No,
then I ran the
there's
other
no
half.
way.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
You ran 45? You
Well,
ran
so here was my thing:
35%
was
of it?
I would like check. Well, I was very busy the whole race. If I wasn't posting something on Instagram, I was thinking about what I was going to post on Instagram next, and I had to do these little like mile check-in videos because Stephanie wanted to do this compilation video, and then I would check and see where she was. And mind you, she was already ahead of me in a different corral, so I was like, I knew she was ahead of me, but I was like, I want to like catch up to her at some point. Didn't happen. But I would like check, and I'm like, oh, she's a mile away. So I would start running, and then I'd get tired, I'd stop, and then I had to do my mile check-in. So I was just very busy the whole time, and I couldn't come find you.
Yeah. So
But that's when I would start running.
So mile 3, I finally called Trey because I didn't have my phone with me. I hadn't really checked you until mile 3, and I was like, okay, he says a 2-minute drive, so I'm thinking that's probably a mile. And you were like, did you do your check-ins? I was like, actually, no. I'll start doing them. So then,
Because I was just there for the content. I was there. I was not there to set a personal best.
but you should have definitely been able to catch up with us because we had 3 bathroom breaks, and there was a line on every bathroom break we did.
Well, I stopped at every photo opportunity. I stopped at all the
Where
water
were the
stations.
photo opportunities? Where were the photo
Well,
opportunities?
anything that looked pretty, I was like, I'm gonna take a picture of that.
You're so
And then I would do it this way, and then I would, yeah.
But,
And then I stopped at all the goo stations. I stopped at a few restrooms. I stopped to talk to people a few times. I stopped and talked to the sea lions.
okay, what mile did you start hurting?
Ooh, like 0.2. No, I would say actually probably mile, maybe it was 3 or 4. I
Like
was
your-
like, oh, my legs don't like this.
So your legs started hurting at mile 3 or 4.
Uh-huh.
What mile were you like in? Did your legs feel like they were like cramping and like you couldn't run?
Probably like mile 10, because then I took a gummy on mile 11, and that kicked in mile 12. And that's when Stephanie thought I was on a bike at one point. I was going so fast. I was just, that gummy kicked in, and I was like, whew.
No, there was a point after my friend and I finished where the only reason I even got through that race is because of Trey, because I would run and then I would stop and walk for a few minutes, and then I would get on my phone and look at Life 360 and see where he was and what he was doing. And if he was running, I started running. I was like, there's no way. This man poisoned me the night before on purpose. There is no way I'm giving him the privilege of beating me in this race. Like, there's absolutely no way.
That was the issue, is we both had the same idea of like, I was checking to see where she was, and I could tell when she was running and when she was walking. So when she was walking, I'd start running, but then she would see that I was running, so then she'd start running, and I was like, I just, never mind. And I'd walk again, and then she'd walk again. So it was just a constant like cat and mouse thing.
It was, but I mean, you were way behind at the very end. I don't know what you did, but there was one time whenever my friend and I stopped, like whenever we got through the race, got our food, came over to kind of cheer Trey on, because I was like, he needs to be cheered on, right? Like, it's always nice to have somebody at the finish line for you after 13 miles of you know what. And I looked down, and it said that he was on a bicycle. And he must have been going that fast. You went from 0 miles an hour. Like, it looked like you may be dead. And then I was like, what is he doing? And then it went to like 3 miles an hour, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got up to 8 miles an hour at one point.
No, that was when I
And
stopped, because we had some podcast fans that came. They drove like an hour to come cheer us on. I stopped and talked to them for a second, and then I was like, wow. And I had to make up time.
You were like, I mean, it said he was on a bicycle. He was going from 3 to 8 real fast. So then I called him and I was like, what are you doing on a bicycle? You were cheating. Get off that bicycle.
I was like, I am running. Leave me alone.
And then what did your mom do?
She texted me. She was like, are you on a bike? I was like, no. And you know what? There were many times when I was like, I could cheat. I could just, like, the way the course went, like, it looped back around. And I was like, I could just, like, ooh. But I didn't, because I was like, it was purely the fear of Stephanie finding out that I cheated that scared me. Because I was like, if she knows that, I'll hear about it till I do this again. So I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Oh yeah, and I wonder if you did. You know, there's all those people on the course, like on the bicycles and like in the orange vest.
the emergency people, if I was just like hop on,
I thought, well, no, I mean, I thought you got on one of their bikes.
just
Yes. And
pushed them off and took it.
I thought you were like, can you
Could you imagine if I just rode across the finish line on a bike?
Yes, I could. Yes, 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 I could definitely. I don't think you would do that. I think you would stop like right before anybody could see you
And
to get
dump
off
it.
your bike and then start running. And, but I definitely could see you getting on the back of a emergency vehicle bike and having them bike you there. But I think if you did cheat, you could get disqualified.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
think
and I
you
was
could
like,
get thrown off because there were people walking around in those like orange vests, like all the that work at the event.
there were too many people to make
So,
it like look good.
I don't know if it would have. I don't know if you would have even been able to finish. I think they may have just been like, you out of here, because I don't think cheating is good.
Well, what was your total time?
It was horrible. It was like I think 2 hours and like 56 minutes. I mean, it was horrible.
My time
what
was
yours?
great. Mine was 3 hours and 28 minutes, but I actually identify as 3 hours because I stopped to talk so much and do other things. I almost stopped at mobile order at Starbucks. But
No,
I
you did
didn't.
not.
Yeah, I almost did. But
Really?
I was like, I didn't know which. There were like 3 of them on the course. I didn't know which one was the right one. And I was afraid that I was going to pick the wrong one. So I just didn't do it.
Oh.
But I almost, like, I had the order ready to go.
So I really thought whenever we were doing this, I told Morgan, I was so proud of you for walking and finishing it because you were kind of that personality that when things get hard, you will sit on a park bench and decide that you just want to go home.
But I finished.
But he did. He finished. He was at one point. I called him because it said he was about 30 minutes behind us, and I was like, Trey, we're waiting for you at the finish line. Hurry up! And you were like, I physically these legs cannot run.
I said, I will be there at my earliest convenience. And yeah, my mom finished in 2 hours and 5 minutes.
She actually was the winner out of everybody.
Yeah.
She was so fast.
And
yes.
Whitney was not far behind her.
No,
she was
she
2
was
hours
like-
and 8 minutes. Or
That's
6 minutes.
crazy. I
It was-
can't imagine running that fast.
Considering that she was like bedridden the day
Yes.
before, to do that in 2 hours. What really got me was when we were, I think it was at like mile 3. That's when people finally started, like, that's when you could, like, cross paths with people. And there were people that were running back. And I was like, how are you almost done? And I'm, like, out of breath very early on.
Oh, I bet you the winner of that race was like 1 hour.
Oh,
a good 2 hours ahead of us.
Yeah. Did you buy your photos?
No, did I buy? No, I still don't know what they look like.
Oh.
Every photo of Trey was him on the phone.
I got my photos on the phone the entire time. And then at, like, I don't know, probably half a mile from the finish line, I had my little fanny pack.
Yeah, where
And
did you put that wig?
The only reason I brought my fanny pack was because that wig that I gave to Zach for our mom's
noodle wig,
Mahjong
yes.
thing, and then I wore on the Amazon Live. I was
Uh-huh.
like, I'm going to bring that. I'm going to prove that it looks good in every situation. And I had that thing shoved in my little fanny pack, and that's pretty much all that was in there. I didn't have water or like.
Did you have the
any
goos that I gave you?
essentials. Yeah, I
'Cause
did have those.
I'm such a good friend. I bought Trey goos before we left. I was like, you know what? He's not going to know what it is.
Which
He's not
was
going to
so
have
gross.
any. And
It was like bad baby food with caffeine in it. It was
did it make you feel better?
no.
You're so full of it.
No, but the gummy did. I was like, woohoo! I should have done this a long time ago. But yeah, no. So I put my wig on and I finished the race,
And he looked
and I looked so glamorous.
you were really
I did.
running. You were
I
running
really showed
really,
the
really
volume
well
of
at the
that
end.
wig.
No, it was yeah.
I did. I know my final photos. I look so
like
athletic.
he looked super athletic, and you would not think that he did.
It's
What?
like Baywatch.
But you know what? He did look athletic. He looked like he came in maybe in the top group, but he was 30th from last.
I figured out I was 30th from last in my age group.
Oh, that's good then, Trey. You said
Yeah.
you were 30th from last. I thought from everybody.
I know. I looked into it more.
Oh, well then that makes
Yeah.
sense because
I was actually
group
like
is like in
halfway
the
for
20s.
the whole race. I was about half, like in the halfway point.
Oh, you're
I
like
know.
halfway through.
Yeah,
You're like in the mid,
I was in like the 4,000s.
and there were 8,000 people total.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wonder what Morgan and I or Em and I were.
So I think when I do a race again,
No, we already are doing one again.
Yeah.
What's our next one?
is it Vancouver? Or is
Yeah,
it
we're
Whitefish?
doing Vancouver.
Yeah.
We're doing the Vancouver half marathon. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Trey he did not want to do this, kicking and screaming. And if I were him, I probably, and did not train at all. Like, it's really painful and miserable if you do not train for
Mm-hmm.
it, right? Like, do your legs still hurt today?
Well, I'm spending a lot of money to not hurt.
Yes. Like, and we'll talk about that in a second because
Mm-hmm.
he spent some real dumb money. But I thought he would be like, okay, I did it. Trey's great to do things with because he does not take things seriously.
I'll do anything once.
He will do anything once, but if he doesn't enjoy it, he will never do it again.
And
right?
you know what? Here's what's messed up is if I ever don't want to do something, Stephanie's like, but it's a good podcast story.
It really
like,
is. Yes, it
fine, I'll
really
go.
is. Like it was premium, premium Instagram
I will say I did
material.
a very good job at chronicling the whole race on my Instagram story. I watched it back and I was like, wow, he did a good. He looked
Yeah.
like he had fun, which I
You-
didn't have fun, but it looked like I did, didn't it? I saved it in my highlight reels. If you want to go watch it.
I felt kind of bad for you because I thought that you and your mom were running together because
No, she wanted to run with me, and I was like, please don't. Like, go ahead.
because I would have. I mean, I was feeling so bad. I would have hung out back there with you. Like
No, I felt bad for her because she tried to be in my corral, but they put her in the corral ahead of me because they probably looked up and were like, yeah, she's done this before. She doesn't need to be back there with him. But she passed like 6 corrals.
Oh yeah, to
Like
get where
6
she
groups of
got,
people,
she
yeah.
definitely passed us at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she started kind of where you were, she definitely passed us at some point.
Yeah.
But it was kind of fun because you're right. The trail does kind of do like a little curve halfway through, and it was kind of fun to see all of your friends. It gave me something to look forward to. Like
No, and listen, if that course wasn't as pretty as it was, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did. But it was so pretty.
it was so pretty.
like gorgeous. The weather was great. It stormed the entire next day, so I wouldn't have done that.
And it
but-
didn't smell like whenever we got there, it smelled really, really bad. It only smelled bad whenever we passed the sills. Now, whenever we passed the sills, it smelled horrible.
Yeah.
But the day before we got there, they had, what was it, like all these sardines.
There were anchovies. All these anchovies like beached themselves on the, I don't know why, but they were looking for oxygen. They got beached, and then they were like rotting. But then seagulls were eating them, and they
It
were like
smelled
dropping them
so
other
bad.
places. It
Really
town
smelled bad. It smelled
terrible.
so bad. But the day of the race, the seagulls must have ate enough of them, or something happened because it did not smell bad at all. Or maybe I just was in the bathroom smelling my own poo for so long that it's just seemed
was
the
refreshing.
same. Like it was like, oh, this is such a better smell. But yeah, it did not smell bad. The only time that I was dying and it made me run faster was whenever we passed the sills because that smelled horrible.
Oh, see, I stopped. I was like, they're so cute.
So dumb.
Yeah.
But no, we have another race we're doing in June.
Mm-hmm.
Did you sign up for it yet?
And no, but it's in Vancouver.
It's
I'll
in
come.
Vancouver. I've done, okay, so I used to do the Lululemon half marathons like right before I started doing Housewives. And it was in Vancouver. They don't do them anymore. Why? I do not know because
Yeah.
it was such a hot race that it sold out immediately. So I don't know why they stopped doing it. But Vancouver is probably my favorite place that I've ever done a half marathon. It's beautiful. Like I think Monterey Bay is beautiful, but if I remember correctly, Vancouver was an easier race. Like Monterey Bay had more hills than I thought it was
Oh my
going
gosh.
to.
Leading up to this race, me and Stephanie's friend were like, is this hilly? And she was like, no, it's not hilly. Like, looked at us like we were dumb for even asking. And this thing was all uphill.
A lot of it was, okay, this is what I do though. I tell people what they want to hear to get them to do what I want them to do. And then we figure it. I mean, you think I really am the person that did my homework? A runner said it wasn't that bad. So I was like, okay, it's not that bad. Now, Trey wanted to do whenever we finished this one, he was like, oh, we should do a half marathon in Whitefish. What do they have at
Glacier
National Park? And I was like, oh, they have one, but it's like completely uphill for 5 miles. And I couldn't do this one without dying. I was like, this is not, Trey, this is not the one for us. This is not the one for us. So we are doing
Vancouver's a
Vancouver.
little more
So if you'd
flat.
like to join us, it's June 22nd, Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's literally called the Vancouver Half Marathon. I tried to look up the course; it did not say because I was trying to find a hotel room because that's another thing Trey was just really not a good friend about. There were a lot of things that he was just not a good friend about. First of all, having me do a colon cleanse, which I did not realize that's what I did. But people were messaging me that were nurses after I had posted. I should have posted before I did the drink so the data would come in that this was a bad idea. But I did it after I had downed the whole dang thing. And I was like, oh, Trey said this tastes like Sprite. And he da-da-da-da-da. I just did this thing trying to, cleanse my body a little bit before this race. And everybody was like, oh, my God, what did you do? This thing could take 12 hours to come in. There were nurses saying, what are you doing? This is what we have patients take before colonoscopies. So pretty much I ran a half marathon
But
and I
didn't
could
you
have gotten a
feel so
colonoscopy
light?
right afterwards. Like
Light as a
no,
feather.
I felt horrible. I felt depleted and horrible. Now, did I feel skinny? Yes. But whenever you just got to run That does not matter. You need enough carbs to sustain yourself. Yes. But yeah, so pretty much I did like a whole colon cleanse leading up to the race. Oh, and this is another thing. So then we're checking out. So that was my hit the first time he screwed me, right? So then Trey told us all, like he was like, hey, this is where we need to stay. It's right where the start and finish line is. So he sent us the information. He did not tell us. So I think it was like $1,200 is what I had to pay for the hotel for 2 days, right? So I'm checking out, and my friend was like, oh, well, how much do I owe you? Like, what's 50%? So I tell her, and Trey's like, what? How? Mine was like, how much was yours? $400.
Mine was like $600.
Or $600. And I was like, how is yours so much cheaper? And he said, well, didn't you see that like on the running website, there's a group rate? I'm like, no, and you did not tell me that because I would have remembered that. Because I immediately booked my hotel right when you told me where to go. I think I was the first one to book the hotel. And no, he did not tell us. And then our other friends, Catherine and Whitney, came. And I said, did Trey tell you about this group rate that he got himself? And they said, no. We all paid full price except for him. And he got the group rate. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's coming.
Well, I'm paying for it on the back end because after the race, I went to the spa and all but begged them for an appointment. Our friends, Catherine and Whitney, they had pre-booked like 2 appointments each. And I was like, you don't need that. I need one of them. But they took their 2 appointments, and I was like, please, I just need something. And the lady was like, all right, we have 1 CBD bath and we have 1 massage available. And I gave the massage to my mom because she worked harder. And I took the CBD bath. And I was like, this is probably going to be a really nice, like...
What did you think it was going to be? Like, when you think of CBD bath, what did you think your experience was?
I pictured like a dark room with like candles, and there was a tub in the middle with like rocks around the tub and like bubbles and like flowers. And it was going to be real nice. And there was going to be like aromatherapy scents everywhere.
Was there going to be somebody in there helping you or like doing anything? You just thought you by yourself?
Yes. And I got in there, and it was a converted hotel room that just had a bathtub in it, like next to a shower. And they just filled the tub up with water and bubbles. And I allegedly some CBD concoction. $65. $65. I was so upset. So this morning I went and did this like the Hocket sauna pod to like loosen my legs up. That was $35. We're spending a lot. Don't worry, I'm spending it trying to get my legs working again.
You know what you need now that you're a runner is
well, I wouldn't say that.
I have these, I forget who makes them. I have these like things that you put on your legs, and they like squeezes and kind of gets rid of all the lactic acid. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
They actually had them at the expo, the Runners Expo. I have those, so I sit on my bed for free, and did that for 40 minutes last night. I feel like a new woman now. Does that hurt a little bit? Yes, but it gets rid of your lactic acid. I would let you come over and use them, but we're not friends right now, so no, you cannot.
I will say though, now that I did a half marathon and I, didn't try, now I'm a little encouraged to like train for Vancouver.
So now we have to put like our goals out there for our next one, right? Because I did a horrible job, so I can only go up from here. Like if I'm full of poop, I'm gonna let myself be full of poop and run because I really learned a lesson.
Well, now you said that morning that. Because she wore her little free shirt.
Oh, yes. That's just horrible. Yes.
In case she, like, had to poop
mid-course
and there was a toilet, that she could take off that shirt, use it as toilet paper, and toss it.
No, I was not going to use it as toilet paper. I said if my shirt is around my waist, it's probably because I pooped my pants and I'm trying to hide it, my shorts, right?
But the number of messages that I got because her shirt was around her waist at the end, they were like, oh, my gosh, she shit herself.
I got hot.
You didn't clarify that.
And I put it around my waist. I was going to throw it away, but then I was walking so much at that point. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tie this bad boy. And then everyone thought I pooped my pants. Everybody. Even my husband called me and said, did you poop your pants? Because your shirt was around your waist. And I said, no.
Well, because your last story was, if this is around my waist, I pooped my pants. And the next pic was you with a picture around your waist.
Yes. And then my pictures, like I didn't see my pictures yet, but my friend, Trey Googled her name. Trey looked like he was on his phone the whole time. I looked like I was in a relationship with my friend, like we were lesbians. We were holding hands. Every time we saw a camera, we held hands, hugged each other. Like it was, it was ridiculous. So yes, I probably will not buy any of those.
So what is your goal for Vancouver?
Okay, so my goal, I'm going to put it out here so that way people, if I miss my goal, people can shame me. 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay. My goal
2 hours and 30 minutes.
My goal is 3 hours and 20 minutes.
No, shut up. It has to be something harder than that, Trey.
I did 3 hours and 24 minutes this time.
Yes, and you said that you stopped. No.
I'm going to stop just as much in Vancouver.
No, because you have to make it hard for yourself. You have to make it something like 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think it's going to be because you have to set goals that you like. You have to work to attain.
I set goals that I can achieve, and you know who I learned that from? You.
No, but this is. But we have months. I'm going to give you a goal. I'm going to set your goal 3 hours. That is easy.
Oh yeah, but I probably did it in 3 hours had I not stopped and talked, and like taken photos and pet the sea lions.
Okay, first of all, you cannot pet the sea
So
lions.
3 hours.
3 hours is your goal. Mine is 2 hours and 30 minutes. And then your job is to find us a place to stay. First of all, you need to sign up for it. Mm-hmm. And then you need to find
a discounted place to stay.
But I don't even care if it's discounted. But if you get a discount, I want a discount because we're friends. But you need to figure out where the start area is and get us a place to stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? Stephanie told me this years ago. This is a great tip for finding a good hotel. She was like, any city you go to, find the most expensive hotel on the map, and then find hotels that are very close to it. That are cheaper.
Because that's going to be the best area.
Because she was like, the Four Seasons is not going in a bad area. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's a really good idea.
Yeah. See?
And you know what? We were at the best hotel. And leading up to this trip, our friends Catherine and Whitney got there the day before. And they sent her a group message like, Stephanie, thank you so much. You picked the best hotel. This is so nice. They have a great spa, perfect location. She was like, you are so welcome, girl. Anytime. I am more than happy to do that. And I was like, what? Bullshit. I did that. And she just took it.
I was like, you are so welcome. And then I was on the phone with Trey, and Trey was like, yeah, I saw how you I saw how you said that how you took my hotel idea and made it your own. I was like, listen, what they don't know is not going to kill them. But then in a moment of weakness, when I had just shat myself all night, I decided to come clean. I said, guys, if I don't make it, I just want you to know that Trey actually picked the hotel, not me. I could, and that's just me being a good friend. Because I was like, if I go see the Lord, then I need to have a good conscience. At one point, I think the nurse is listening. At one point during the race, this is weird. This was like mile 4 or 5, and I started really worrying about myself. My left foot started tingling. It wasn't numb, but it was, when you set on your foot or something, mm-hmm. and then it like starts tingling and it's like halfway numb, but not really. It wasn't so numb that I couldn't run on it, but it was numb enough to where it felt weird to run. Oh. And it was like that almost the entire race.
I'm impressed that y'all finished because y'all really did that on no sleep, fully dehydrated.
Yes. Yeah, it was. I am impressed too. I mean, I am fine with my however long the race was because the
circumstances were stacked against you.
The circumstances were horrible. But I am excited for our next one. And I want, who I want to do? I want like other people to join us. Like I know Travis won't because he has a really bad back. Trey was like, would Travis do it? And I said, no, he's done it before, but he can't even golf without having his back thrown out. So I do not want him to do this because then I have to hear him complain for a month, right? Mm-hmm. It's just not worth it. And then I'm going to be super sore, but I'm going to rub him because he's going to be sorer, right? And Travis is not a planner, so he would not get a massage or anything. He would not have that figured out, so I'd have to do that for him. I would like to see Zach run it.
I would too. He won't do it.
No, you don't think he would? I would like to see.
I mean, you tell him that.
I would like to see him do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just think of people who are fun. Like, I would like to see maybe Jordan do it because he would probably he would either do really well or really bad. He seems to be in really good shape, so I feel like he would do well. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I could see him being like a little gazelle.
But I don't want him to do it then. Who would be really bad that we know? I like people. That's why I wanted you to do it, honestly, because first of all, you're fun and you're entertaining, but also I know you very well. Like I knew there was going to be a 75% chance that you would blow it, and I was right.
No, I finished though.
But you did finish. You did finish. But I'd like for I think it's fun if you do big groups.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Holman on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast. And you can watch us on TikTok at Weekly Dose of BS.
Bye.